Hey everybody! The gaming industry is constantly evolving. Every year, more and more new projects are released, with developers delighting us not only with increasingly detailed and realistic graphics, but also with compelling stories that make us empathize with both the main and secondary characters. These trends haven't bypassed projects about various zombie apocalypses either. The idea of a mass infection with virus, resulting in infected individuals no longer resembling normal people, is not new. Even in the early days of computer games, projects were released that allowed the player to feel like one of the few lucky ones, unaffected by an epidemic. However, the main problem with these games has carried over from cinema: the lack of an interesting plot or its complete absence. Often, a poorly developed hero would simply appear at a certain point of the map, sometime after the outbreak, and needed to reach another point, a supposed safe zone, while shooting crowds of infected along the way. In the earliest games, the protagonist was practically the only survivor, and the people he met on his journey could be counted on one hand. Who was the hero before the outbreak? What happened to his family, if he had one? Did he have any other emotional connections? These questions were often left unanswered. And such gaps in the storyline shifted the main motivation of playing zombie games from the desire to uncover what would happen next or what had happened before if the main character's memories were integrated into the narrative, to simple fear and the thrill of adrenaline. I still remember my feelings as a teenager when playing Land of the Dead or Left 4 Dead. The sight of zombies pursuing you step by step when you were out of ammo could definitely give you a good scare, especially if you played with the lights off. Games like this still exist today, boasting more colorful dismemberment and improved graphics, but their core remains the same: get from point A to point B while blowing the brains out of everyone in your path. Another minor issue that has more to do with game mechanics, but also applies to movies, is the sluggishness of the zombies.
What the fuck is this?
While not critical, this lack of dynamism can make the gameplay feel slower and cause some players to lose interest. Fortunately, among games centered on humanity's survival after an epidemic, there exists a project with an engaging and heartfelt story, combined with dynamic mechanics, and that is... Seriously, a few years ago you could hear about The Last of Us everywhere. Hundreds of glowing reviews, dozens of awards like Best Game and Game of the Year from various prestigious publications and exhibitions. And just when the buzz seemed to die down, the release of the second part and the remastered edition of the first game brought it back.
Nice.
Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against The Last of Us. Ellie and Joel's adventures, their evolving relationship from distrust to a warm bond, is indeed a captivating story that makes The Last of Us one of the greatest games in the industry, and every gamer should experience this tale alongside its characters. However, the overwhelming praise for its detailed characters, realistic post-apocalyptic setting, and compelling plot has cast doubt on other games with similar themes, such as Days Gone. But after spending a couple of weeks immersed in this game on various difficulty levels, I can confidently say that Bend Studio has managed to create a game that's on par with, if not better than The Last of Us. And I will explain to you why I think so. First, a little bit about the story. The game is set in post-apocalyptic Oregon, where humanity faces a pandemic that turns people into bloodthirsty, aggressive, zombie-like creatures called Freakers. The protagonist Deacon St. John, a former biker turned bounty hunter, struggles to survive in this harsh world. At the beginning of the game, during the initial chaos of the outbreak, Deacon tries to save his wounded wife Sarah by putting her on a military helicopter that flies off to an unknown destination. Left behind with his friend Boozer, he watches helplessly as it takes off. 2 years pass without any news of Sarah's fate, and Deacon with his loyal friend continues to explore the world searching for resources and safe havens. As the game progresses, Deacon encounters various groups of survivors, each with their own story and motives. And various tasks not only shed light on personal motivations of the protagonist, but also reveal the dark secrets behind the disaster. The supporting characters are well developed, with some being vile scoundrels and others who manage to keep their humanity despite the hardships. And the bond between two friends can be compared to that of Ellie and Joel. Deacon's character is fleshed out through flashbacks that reveal his life before the pandemic, giving insight into his personality and how he became who he is. In addition to an engrossing story, Days Gone immerses the player into a detailed open world with diverse landscapes, from dense forests and snow-capped mountains to dry deserts and abandoned settlements. Survivor camps serve as key locations for missions, trading, and upgrading your skills and equipment. The open-world nature of the game allows for free exploration without the constraints often found in linear games like The Last of Us. But the world is not overwhelmingly large, as is the case with most open-world games of the day, which helps keep the player's attention focused on the story and exploration. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer open-world games to linear ones. I enjoy discovering new places, completing side missions, and sometimes even grinding collectibles. However, if you have to spend a week or weeks exploring the whole map of the game, like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where cities and villages don't shine with diversity, it can become monotonous, tiring, and upsetting, and this huge world becomes just boring, despite its beautiful landscapes. That's why Days Gone, due to the manageable map size, even with a small number of repetitive missions, doesn't take up so much time to make you bored, which without a doubt could be considered an advantage. Additionally, the fact that NPCs can interact with each other even without the player's intervention adds more realism to the world. And what about the game mechanics? As the main character is a biker, his Iron Horse is a faithful companion and one of the principal elements of gameplay, allowing the protagonist to quickly move around the world. The mechanics of riding here are really impressive. The bike behaves differently depending on the surface under the wheels and weather conditions. It easily accelerates on the highway and begins to lose control on the ground in the rain. And entering a turn at speed, now that is a unique pleasure here. Also, the motorcycle always requires maintenance. The player needs to constantly find fuel and metal for repairs to keep it in working order, which can add some dangerous moments in certain situations. In addition, you can install a variety of upgrades, increase speed, maneuverability, strength, and even put nitrous oxide. In a post-apocalyptic world.
Some things you just have to take on faith.
Collecting different resources is used not only to restore health or repair the bike, but also to create and improve items. For example, an ordinary baseball bat can be modified with nails to increase its damage. And from the hood of the car, you can sometimes pull out an improvised silencer for a machine gun. The variety of placed and crafted traps and explosive devices helps to diversify gameplay, whether it's in hunting animals whose meat can be sold later, or facing a large group of enemies, or on the contrary, distracting them. Also, one of the main mechanics that makes the game more realistic is the dynamic weather and the change of day and night. And believe me, because of the eerie atmosphere and constant feeling of danger, every day lived in Days Gone is perceived in a completely different way compared to, for example, GTA. Especially on higher difficulty levels, it feels like a real achievement, like in some survival simulators, and there are serious reasons for that. In addition to the various dangerous enemies that Deacon can encounter at any moment during his journey, one of the most unique and exciting aspects of Days Gone is the hordes. These huge clusters of slowly trudging infected can be seen both day and night in different places on the map. However, before approaching them, check how full your ammunition is, and just in case, leave your bike not too far away, because escaping from the horde by simply running is absolutely impossible. Fighting such multitudes of enemies requires careful preparation. Besides good firearms and explosives, which aren't revealed to the player immediately, you should also thoroughly study the terrain and plan potential escape routes. For example, in the first hours of my gameplay, one unexpected night encounter with a horde was enough to make me prefer sending the hero to sleep at night for the next few days of the game. Finally, the graphics and high-quality textures in Days Gone are still impressive even today. From tree bark and foliage to rocks and buildings, every element looks detailed. And the dynamic lighting creates a realistic combination of light and shadow of every surface, making the game look bright and vibrant during the day, and dangerous and mysterious at night. So let's summarize. Days Gone is not just a game, but an incredible adventure full of emotions, dangers, and amazing moments, combining the best aspects of action-adventure and survival horror genres, centered around a zombie apocalypse. Explore the surroundings, fight hordes of freakers, and slowly immerse yourself in this atmospheric world. A memorable story, engaging characters, highly detailed graphics, and interesting and in some ways even unique game mechanics. None of this will leave anyone indifferent. If you're looking for a game that offers a distinctive and immersive experience, then Days Gone is exactly what you need. This underrated masterpiece definitely deserves your attention. And that's it! Write in the comments your opinion about the game if you have already played it. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss the next interesting videos.